Over the past 4 years, I have been playing a lot of Geometry Dash. And I mean a lot. And while some people spend their time beating extremely difficult levels and pushing the limits of the game, I spent most of my time creating levels that would never see the light of day. And so for years, the levels sat on my computer, slowly gathering dust, until recently, when I thought I might as well show off some of these levels, as I did put a lot of time and effort into them. So, that's the reason for this video, and the 3 following videos to come. Each video showcases levels from different eras of my creating journey. From my old, terrible levels, to my more recent and hopefully better ones. This video is going to showcase volume 1 of my levels, my early works. Information for each level, including their ID and song, can be found in the description. And my thoughts on the levels can be found if you turn on captions, which is over here? Somewhere? Anyway, that's enough of me. Enjoy!
Set fire to my bones, in my throat, in my nose. Your eyes are burning smoke. Try to wash it out with soap. Capsizing to the floor. Put your money where you swore. Break down the front door to prove I'm anything. faded through the dark. The